said on Twitter that 400 people were receiving assistance from the Spanish Red Cross. To South Africa now, and around 300 people from the Black First, Land First party demonstrated in front of the South African Reserve Bank in the country's capital, Pretoria. Now, they were protesting against what they called white monopoly capital, calling for the transformation of South Africa's economy in favor of black people. The activists are calling for reform within the banking sector, following a report by the country's competition watchdog, which revealed that local and international banks have been rigging the price of South Africa's currency, the rand.
Our government has become powerless in the face of these banks, and this march today by our organization was to basically demand action from the South African Reserve Bank, action from the minister, action from the president. In particular, we want our Minister of Finance to resign, the governor to resign, but also we want a state bank. We also want a black bank. As we speak, there is a High Court application by BLF against Pravin Gordhan. We're saying to the High Court, they must declare him conflicted, compromised, and captured. He can't be a Minister of Finance. He is in the pockets of the banks. It is upon their conscience to hear the moral call. We will see them as a legitimate, having no right to govern, because they are not governing this Reserve Bank in the interest of our people. They're governing the Reserve Bank in the interest of white monopoly capital, which is white people in this country who are basically settlers and colonialists.
Meanwhile, next door in Zimbabwe, and police have detained a pastor who claimed that veteran President Robert Mugabe, who turns 93 next month, would die this year. And he gave a date, October 17th. Pastor Patrick Mugadza was arrested at the magistrate's court in Harare, where he was appearing on separate charges of wearing the national flag, and now charged with the prophecy. Poking fun at Mugabe or making predictions about him is a risky business in Zimbabwe, which has a law that forbids undermining the authority of or insulting the president. Mugabe has been in office since independence from British colonial rule in 1980. His health has been the subject of speculation as he makes frequent visits to the Far East for medical treatment.
If the need arises, or if it becomes necessary for me to participate in the elections, I really want to be available for that, because first of all, it is my right, and I believe it is my duty as a citizen to serve my nation in that way. The flag of Zimbabwe is not for politicians. It is for everyone who is called a Zimbabwean, young and old. And so for them to ban us from it, it shows that we successfully took it back.
To Kenya now, and the country's wildlife services has launched a census of elephants to determine just how many are left in a country where poaching has had a devastating effect on the elephant population. Experts say more than 20,000 elephants are slaughtered every year across Africa, with Kenya being one of the most affected. The aim of this exercise is to establish the populations of elephants and other large animals, and to assess the impact of not only poaching, but also climate change. The elephant census is taking part in the Tsavo National Park and Mkonanzi Conservation Area on the country's border with Tanzania.
We are here as a part of our routine work that we undertake every 3 years, and basically that is taking stock of the wildlife numbers that we have in this particular key ecosystem, just counting elephants and other big mammals. In 2014, we counted a total of 11,217 elephants. That number is can further be interrogated, because overall, from the previous count in 2011, we ended a decline of about 10% of the elephants. That was purposely due to the poaching that was then. And again, that figure, we saw that 85% of the 11,217 were elephants within the protected areas. And that meant that the elephants in the parks had increased by 10%. We are seeing a lot of drought-related mortalities from our wildlife, but that will not significantly, from our general assessment, it will not significantly affect our numbers. And our biggest significant impact on the elephant numbers will be poaching, but that one we've been able to contain it. We are keen to document any possible impact, either positive or negative, related to the SGR that could be impacting the wildlife. However, from a scientific point of view, it is just too early. The construction of the SGR has actually been going on now for like 15 months. It is too early to decipher or to be able to see any particular great impact other than the disrupted movement. So this may have some lagged effect, and this particular census will lay the baseline information that when we come back after 3 years, we can be able to say, look here, these are significant impacts that we've been able to realize.
Switching gears now, and the Nigerian Central Bank is determined to boost dollar supply in the economy, as well as bridge the gap between the interbank foreign exchange market and the parallel market. In view of this, the CBN pegged the Naira exchange rate for payment of school fees abroad and personal travel allowance at 375 Naira to the dollar. We also learned this past week that apparently a sizable amount of the Naira in circulation is, get this, fake notes. Joining me now is Isaac Okoroafor. He's the Director of Corporate Communications at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Isaac, real quick, fake notes?
Yeah.
Money in my pocket could be fake?
Yeah, fake notes, they exist.
How?
Well, counterfeiters have been around for a long time, for as long as money has been
So
around.
you're saying this is nothing new?
Well, it is not new, but we need to correct an impression that was created that 20% of notes circulating in Nigeria were fake. That is wrong.
What's the
It's
percentage?
untrue. It's actually 0.0014%.
I'm sorry,
And
zero,
that is
0.0014.
that means just 14 pieces of notes per million notes. Just 14, 1-4.
14 pieces
Per million notes. And by international standards, that is even excellent, because some countries have 38, some have 33.7
So you're,
per million.
you're patting yourself on the back saying that's a good number.
No, it's a battle we continuously fight, and I think we are not doing badly at
Okay,
all.
what notes are fake mostly? Is it the 500, the 1,000?
Of course, counterfeiters will always go for higher denomination notes,
Yeah.
and like 1,000, 500,
Yeah.
200, but we are battling.
So there's no cause for alarm here, is that what you're saying?
There is no cause for alarm at all.
Okay, let's switch gears. Naira. What's the official dollar rate, Isaac? Tell us, please.
The dollar rate,
Naira to dollar.
the Naira to dollar rate in the interbank market ranges from 305 Naira to 315. It changes.
So why in the cover of this front page of Thisday newspaper is it saying allowance will be at 375 Naira to the dollar?
Well, that's not exactly what it is. The Central Bank of Nigeria has taken a decision to directly fund banks with additional foreign exchange to be able to take care of some personal travel allowance, school fees, and medical payments. And with that, we have tried to set an exchange rate for for those transactions at 20% above the interbank rate. So that is 20% above the interbank rate that ranges between 305 and 315. That's the accurate position.
I can go outside this hotel and change for 520.
Well, approach your bank. The banks have been directed to sell to all the people that come up for it. And they actually been directed to also open up avenues at the airports,
Yeah.
so that they can deal with this demand.
Isaac, you're from the central bank. Is there a shortage of dollars in the market? Is there a shortage?
There is a shortage of dollars in the market, and it is the cost is obvious. We can't earn enough again, and we are trying to rationalize and prioritize what we have at present, so that it can meet our the most basic needs of the economy.
Yeah. Finally, do we see the Naira plunging further throughout the year? Someone said it could be up to 1,000 by the end of the year.
I don't think so. Although people are trying to use all kinds of machinations and tricks to bring us to that, but it won't happen.
Will it fall further?
Because the economy itself, local production is picking up.
Yeah.
The rate at which people import useless things.
So you're confident?
Is coming. I'm very
It's going
confident.
to strengthen?
Yeah, the Naira is going to come back gradually.
Great. Isaac Okoroafor, good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate
Thanks.
it. Okay. We're going to take another quick short break now, but do stay with us. More news ahead, including the newspaper headlines, and former flying doctor Dr. Ola Brown joins us for a chat. But first, it's a short break. Stay with us. You're watching This Day live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're back in a moment.